मस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। पढ़ी।
अनेक बाहूदर वक्त्र नेत्रम पश्यामि त्वां सत्त्वतोऽनन्तरूपम् नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिम् पश्यामि विश्वेश्वर विश्वरूप किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तम् पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम् त्वमक्षरं परमं वेदितव्यम् त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम् त्वमव्ययः शाश्वतधर्मगोप्ताः सनातनस्त्वं पुरुषो मतो मे अनादिमध्यान्तमनन्तवीर्यम् अनन्तबाहुं शशिसूर्यनेत्रम् पश्यामि त्वां दीप्तहुताशवक्त्रम् स्वतेजसा विश्वमिदं तपन्तम् ध्यावा पृथिव्योरिदमन्तरं हि व्याप्तं त्वयैकेन दिशश्च सर्वाः दृष्ट्वाद्भुतं रूपमुग्रं तवेदं लोकत्रयं प्रव्यथितं महात्मन् अमीहि त्वां सुरसङ्घा विशन्ति केचित् भीता प्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्तीत्युक्त्वा महर्षि सिद्धसङ्गाः स्तुवन्ति त्वां स्तुतिभिः पुष्कलाभिः रुद्रादित्या वसवो ये च साध्याः विश्वेश्विनौ मरुतश्चोष्मपाश्च गन्धर्वयक्षासुरसिद्धसङ्गाः वीक्षन्ते त्वां विस्मिताश्चैव सर्वे रूपं महत्ते बहुवक्त्र नेत्रम् महाबाहो बहुबाहुरुपादम् बहूदरं बहुदंष्ट्राकरालम् दृष्ट्वा लोका प्रव्यथितास्तथाहम् नभस्पृशं दीप्तमनेकवर्णम् व्याप्ताननं दीप्तविशालनेत्रम् दृष्ट्वा हि त्वां प्रव्यथितान्तरात्मा घृतिं न विन्दामि शमं च विष्णो दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालानलसन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च सद्म प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास।
To look at the world, you need a physical eye. That is enough. We all have eyes by which we see the physical world around. We see the objects and beings around, but we don't see God anywhere. We see the object, we see the being, but we don't see God. In fact, we have to make in a lot of effort to convince ourselves that there is this thing called God. We don't see it. Lot of self-brainwashing is required to believe that there is this thing called God. And how much ever you do brainwashing about yourself that there is this thing called God, still there is no, still there is no God. So what is this Vishwarupa Darshana then? Vishwa Darshana and Vishwarupa Darshana. Vishwa Darshana, physical eye is enough. To see the world, the physical eye is, all of us are blessed with the five senses. When eye means all the senses. What it meant is the senses. So Vishwa Darshana is possible through the senses. The Vishwarupa Darshana comes through a special training. That special training is what Vedantic method, study, tapas, etc. So that method by which you have the Vishwarupa Darshana. So from Vishwa Darshana, it becomes a Vishwarupa Darshana. So what is Vishwarupa Darshana means? You see what everybody is seeing, and there is one added factor that you alone can see. You alone means because you alone have gone through the training. Because you alone have gone through the training, you can see that. The others who have not gone through the training can never see that. Example, in any field of activity, you can see only if you have gone through the training. If you have not gone through the training, you cannot see it. In the biology class, they have the microscope, isn't it? And then they put something, and everybody has to see through the microscope. And the teacher says, see this, where to see it? So not even seeing it, I say, yeah, saw, that's all, you go, isn't it? Because it needs a trained and the trained biologist comes, they see something very different. What is the difference? The difference is the difference is not in the presence of the instrument. The difference is in the training that you go through. So Vishwarupa Darshana is possible when there is the training that happens. What is the training? The training of the study of the scriptures and the tapas by which an inner change happens. Again, I repeat. What is the training? The study of the scriptures and the tapas and the chitta-shuddhi, all the blah, blah, blah stories. I'm not getting into that. If you do all that, there is an inner change. That inner change is what we call as Vishwarupa Darshana. What is that inner change? You see the whole creation as God. That is the inner change. And when you see the whole creation as God, what is the proof that you are seeing the whole creation as God? The proof is very simple, isn't it? The testing factors are very simple. What is the proof that you are seeing the God, the divine? Fear goes out, worry goes out, insecurity goes out. Otherwise, you are all the time in fear, insecurity, worry, any word you can use. I don't know what all synonyms are there for this. You can use everything for that because it is the change of the attitude for which we have been seeing various examples. What is the various examples that you have been discussing? The various examples. The first example is somebody comes and gives you a laddu and say this is from Tirupati. You will not say, I will have it for dessert. Will you? You will not say that. It's a sweet. No, you can have it as a as a desert. What is the difference? But you will not say, I'm going to have it for a desert. Why? Because something in you has changed. It is a simple sweet in the eyes of it is a simple sweet in the eyes of everybody, but in you there is a change in attitude. For the one who has this change in attitude, sees Vishwarupa. Are you able to follow? So what you have to see now, imagine that your attitude has changed. Simply imagine. One day, and hopefully we pray that imagination becomes true one day. So simply imagine. Imagine that your vision has changed, and how would you see it? In Yoga Vasishtha, he says, this is one of the various practices. He says, this is one of the practice also. He says, imagine you are a self-realized person and look at what's happening around you. How you will look at it? What value? Imagine that you are a waker and imagine that you are in the dream now and you have the knowledge of the waker. How would you look at it? Honor, dishonor will make no meaning. Success or failure will have no effect. All that is happening, but one part of you will not get involved, will be so detached from everything that is happening. Are you able to follow? So this detachment is the practice. This detachment is, so imagine that you have done this practice and there is this maturity and Vishwarupa Darshana happens. Again and again and again, I'm repeating week after week. This Vishwarupa is not seen by the physical eye. That which is seen as an attitudinal change, that which is seen as that which is experience something born of understanding, he's trying to put it in words. See Vishwarupa like that. Again, don't see Vishwarupa as a form that he is seeing. He is describing something in words which he is understanding. See it like that. Then Vishwarupa will have a different meaning. If you think Vishwarupa means something that which is seen as a form, no. Just as you see the laddu, the eyes only see the laddu, the tongue only says it's a sweet, but what says it is prasad? What says it is prasad? Does the tongue say that it is prasad? Does the nose say it is prasad? What says it as prasad? The understanding. That person now reverse it. The person who has understood it, when he is describing the Tirupati Laddu, how that person will describe that? That you can never conceive. Are you able to follow? Because he will say, each and every grain I am seeing Balaji. Here in this I am seeing Balaji. In that I am seeing Balaji. In this, now you will think, where are you seeing all that? Because you are only seeing, I don't know, what is it called? I don't know what you see. I don't know what is that made of. Sugar, I don't know. Maybe some sugar, maybe some dry fruit, maybe some kadalamavu, I don't know. Bundi, I don't know. Mix of everything is what you see. But what is he seeing? He sees the Lord in everything. This is called Vishwarupa. This is called Vishwarupa Darshan. Always remember that. This transformation brings about this transformation will bring about a lot of emotional changes. What are the emotional changes? At one point of time, there will be Ascharya, wonderment. Now he is going through the wonderment phase. I said up to 22, he will be going through the phase of wonderment. And then he will go through something else. And then he'll go through something else. And then he'll go through something else. This is Vishwarupa. This introduction we keep giving week after week after week. And how many ever times you give this introduction, you still think he's seeing something. You still think how is he seeing this? How is he seeing this? How is he seeing? Because Krishna can never influence you, isn't it? TV serial influences you so much, isn't it? Because in the movies you have seen Vishwarupa, and that influence you can never ever erase. And how much ever Krishna says, yeah, Srikanth, yeah, cinema influence போகவே மாட்டேன்றது, isn't it? Because the influence of what you see there is what you continue here also, and all the questions will be asked from what? அவன் நடிக்கிறாங்க, isn't it? That fellow is acting, doesn't even know what he is doing, isn't it? ராமர் டெம்பிளுக்கு ராமரா நடிச்சவங்க என்னத்துக்கு வரணும், isn't it? That fellow took the money and went away. No, Ravana also should have been invited for the temple, isn't it? Why only Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana? Why leave the other crew members? You get so influenced by what you see. The understanding part is completely carried away by what you see. Your understanding is completely carried away by what you see. And no way that anybody can come, even if somebody comes and tells you what you are seeing is not what it is, you will nod the head and say, I understood, isn't it? And when you nod the head and say, I understood, Nala, it is very clear that you didn't. Very clear that you didn't understand. Why? Because it's not a change of the object. It is not the change of the perception. It is the change in your understanding. And when the change in understanding happens, what happens? Your emotions, there is a lot of emotional changes. What are the emotional changes? The emotional changes will be one of from worry and anxiety, etc., to wonderment, etc. Now Arjuna is going through the first thing, wonderment. Few verses later, another emotion will come. Fear will come later. After a few more verses, all the three we are going to see. Right now, we are stuck with Arjuna's wonderment. We are stuck with Arjuna's wonderment. What is that wonderment? What all he has studied and heard in the lectures, he is rattling off. That's all. This is exactly like our group discussion, isn't it? What all he has heard in the classes, it will be rattled off. And Arjuna is simply rattling off. What did he rattle? Verse number 18. What all he rattled, that's where we left Arjuna. Verse number 18. And what did he say in verse number 18? I consider you to be the Aksharam, imperishable, supreme to be known, you to be the ultimate abode of this universe, you to be the immutable protector of eternal dharma, you to be the ancient Purusha. Arjuna is using glories of what he has heard about the God. Not only he is just rattling, he is inspired also. Understand it like that. Not only he's not just rattling off. He's very inspired. So because of that inspiration, what all he's saying now? You are the support, he says. You are the ultimate support. Why can't he simply say support? What does the ultimate support means? In the world, that which supports you is supported by something else. That which supports that is supported by something else. Therefore, everything in the world is always a relative support. Again, everything in the world is always a relative support. Now, what is he talking about here? He's talking about the ultimate support. What does the ultimate support means? Okay. What does it mean, relative support? I am sitting on the desk here, the school bench. I'm sitting on the on the bench. I am supported by the bench. By what is the bench supported? By the floor. By what the floor is supported? By the foundation. By what the foundation is supported? By the earth. By what the earth is supported? By some. So, if you go backwards and backwards and backwards, all that you call a support in turn is dependent upon something else for its support. That is why in the world you can never get any support. Don't worry. யாரும் சப்போர்ட்டே பண்ண மாட்டேன்றாங்க சார், because they themselves are supported by something else. No, are you able to understand the difference? How one support is always connected to something else. If you go backwards and backwards and backwards, what is the ultimate support means? Ultimate support is that which supports everything and which itself is not supported by anything. This is the ultimate support. And this thing doesn't exist in the world. This thing doesn't exist in the world because the world itself is supported by something else. They say the planet Earth is kept in its place because of the support from the other planets. And that other planet is supported by something else. It means in the world, one supports the other, a relative support. What is he talking about Brahman here? He's talking about Brahman as the ultimate support. Ultimate support means that which supports everything and which itself is not supported by anything. Is there an object like that, or is there a being like that in the world who can be an ultimate support? No object or no being in the planet can be called as the ultimate support. Because in turn, they themselves are supported by something else. So, what is the question? What is the ultimate support by which, if you hold on to that support, which is not dependent on anything else, what is that support? That support is called God. That support is called Brahman. And he says, you are that support. So, a very beautiful, glorious adjective. What is that? You are the ultimate support. That's why we go to God and say, you are the only support. You are the only support. Why? In the world, everything is supported by something else. Wealth supports you, and that wealth that supports you is supported by something else. Correct, no? The health, the wealth, the health, the family, everything that you have is always supported by something else. Therefore, you cannot rely for a permanent ultimate support on anything of the world. Arjuna says, you are that ultimate support, Krishna. Here Krishna is Brahman. You can use the form Krishna also. No problem. You are unchangeable and unaffected. Another adjective. You are unchangeable. You are unaffected. What is it that doesn't change you? What is it that doesn't affect you? The time. Everything is a victim of time. That is why All your experiences are time bound. The love that you experience is time bound. The hatred that you experience is time bound. Everything that you experience is bound by time. And the human being wants something that which is not bound by time. Again, everything that you experience is bound by time, and you want something that which is not bound by time. And where will you get it? Go there and get it. No, nobody is interested. They want everything to happen. That which is bound by time, you want to make it timeless. That which is bound to change, you want to keep it unchanging. And how much ever you keep it unchanging, it will change. You know that. That's the deep down fear. That's a deep down fear. What is the deep down fear? As long as you are friendly with people, you will never have fear. The moment you get attached, you will start having fear. Have you experienced that? Do you understand that at least? As long as you are friendly with people, you will have no fear. The moment you get attached, instantly what comes? Fear comes. Are you able to follow? What is the fear? What is the fear? The fear that they will change. That change is losing it. And when they change, you have lost it. It means anything and everything is bound to change, and you get affected by what? That which is bound to change, you put a condition that it should not change. That which is intrinsically changing, you put a condition that it should not change. That which is intrinsically changing, when it changes, that's where you say, I got cheated. I got cheated. The person that I knew before marriage is not the person that I knew after marriage, sir. What is the difference? Nothing changed, isn't it? The person is it is in you, it keeps. You are not able to accept. What is it that you are not able to accept? That which is bound by time will change. And that which is bound by time will have different shades. And some shades will not be acceptable. Some changes will be acceptable. Some shades are acceptable. Some shades are not acceptable. And because of your mind's attachment, you go through these fluctuations. That's why in Vedanta we say, be friendly, but never get attached. Be friendly, but never get attached. But we know only one thing: either get attached or turn indifferent. That's all. We know only either I'll suffocate or kick the fellow, isn't it? We never know the right way. Either we suffocate the fellow. இல்லையா? அது தமிழ் எப்படி சொல்லுவாங்க? காலுப்பிடி இல்லைன்னா கழுத்துப்பிடியே. Either, Srikanth, correct தானே? These are the two extremes. Either you kick the fellow or you suffocate the fellow. You are immutable. Immutable means you are not bound by the time. Since you are not bound by time, you are changeless. You are changeless. One of the important lessons of knowledge that you need to have is this. Most of the time, you use the word without knowing the meaning, you can use the expression. Without knowing the meaning, but you can use the word. You use the word, and because you use the word doesn't mean that you know the meaning. You are a carrier of the word. You are not the carrier of understanding. A layperson can never know the difference between the two. The carrier of the word versus the carrier of the one who who understands the meaning of the word. This is where the process of learning is very important, because are you understanding what you are saying? That's why I always ask, don't worry about whether I understand. Do you understand what you are saying? I ask. If you understand what you are saying, that's more than enough. Forget about somebody else understanding. Most of the time, you don't understand. You don't understand what you are saying. Most of the expressions that we use about God and all that belongs to that category. Even when we glorify somebody, it belongs to the category. And when we massacre somebody, when we glorify somebody, also we do the same mistake. And when we massacre somebody, also we make the same mistake. What is the mistake? By using the word, you think that you know the meaning. Because look at the words that Arjuna is using. Avyayam, paramam nidhanam, sarshvata dharma gopta. Look at all these words that he is using. Looks like he's an enlightened person already. But he is not. Why? Because he is using the word which doesn't mean anything. But still he is using it. Why? Because he is in a state of wonderment. We can use the word wonderment, or we can use the word inspiration. He is in the few moments of inspiration, you use words. That's why the artist always says inspiration is required. The poet requires inspiration. Everything is in the moments of inspiration, something comes out which is very meaningful. So what is he saying here? You are the Veditavyam, you are the Nirguna Brahman, you are everything. You are the Paramam Nidhanam. Ultimate support. The ultimate support means supportless support. That which supports everything, but it doesn't require any support. And you are Avyayam. Avyayam means not bound by time. You don't decay. What it means is you don't. Avyayam means there is no decay. There is no change. You are the changeless reality. Another beautiful adjective. Sashvata Dharma Gopta. Sashvata Dharma Gopta. You are the protector of Dharma, which is Sashvata. You have to read it like that. You are the protector of Dharma, which is Sashvata. Sashvata Dharma Gopta. Sashvata Dharma Gopta means the creator and also the maintainer. The creator of the law and the one who maintains the law. And whenever the law is disturbed, the maintainer, the creator, creates the law. And then everybody is bound to obey the law. Whenever somebody violates the law, whenever there is a violation of the law, what happens? Whenever there is a violation of the law, what happens? Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Not yuge yuge, no, not yuga after yuga. Yuge yuge means in every human being. I always say one human being is one yuga. And whenever that human being violates the dharma, amputation will happen. You are the creator and you are the maintainer. And whenever the violation happens, you are the amputator. And that amputation is also out of what? That amputation is also out of love. You amputate out of love. See, whenever the law is violated, the cause of violation has to be eliminated. Again, I repeat. Wherever the law is violated, that which is the cause of violation, that which makes you to violate the law, that cause has to be eliminated. And what are the ways by which the cause can be eliminated? Previous verse. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Remember the previous verse where he said that? Connect this and that. It's a Shashvata Dharma Gupta. And then wherever there is a violation, first thing is amputation is not the first method. Amputation comes last. And for most of the human beings, amputation only works. Why? Because they don't understand any other language. They understand only the language of amputation. Why? Why? They believe that they are above the law. They start believing that they are above the law, and whenever they believe that they are above the law, it comes and amputation happens. So, Sashvata Dharma Gopta. What is Ashwata Dharma Gopta now? What is Dharma? Dharma itself means, Dharma means the law. The Sanskrit word Dharma is not morals and ethics. In English, don't translate Dharma as morals and ethics. Dharma in English has to be translated as a law. Law means, again, law means what? What should be done, what should not be done. And then the consequences of following, the consequences of not following. All this put together is called law. All these factors put together is called law. And the human being in their deepest core thinks what? They are above law. The deepest core, they think they are above law. And everything from the world must obey to their law. And while they are above law, everybody must obey the law while they think they are above the law, are able to follow. They think like that. Because of this thinking, what happens? They do something that disturbs the harmony. They do something that disturbs the harmony. They do something that disturbs the rhythm, orchestra. They do something. They do something that disturbs the rhythm. They do something that disturbs everything. When this is done, what will the maintainer do? What will the maintainer of the law do? The maintainer of the law will come and amputate. That's all, isn't it? The factors that disturbs the harmony must be eliminated. The factors that disturbs your harmony, your health, body eliminates it. The factors that disturbs the health of the family, the factor that disturbs the health of the society, the family that the cause that disturbs the health, family, society, country, humanity, the totality, the cause that disturbs the rhythm must be eliminated. When we say must be eliminated, it's a wrong way of saying will be eliminated by the divine. Must be eliminated now by whom? will be eliminated. It gets eliminated by itself. If there is any cause that disturbs the health, that is called disease. Correct? What is the disease? Disease is nothing but which has disturbed the natural state. What is the natural state? The health. So when something disturbs the natural state, what has to be done to that? Eliminate that. Only when the disturbance is eliminated, it can be restored back to the rhythm. Any violation of the rhythm will be eliminated. The process of elimination first is through knowledge, understanding. And most of the human beings are not designed to learn through knowledge and understanding. Then what is the way they learn? They learn only through pain and suffering. The way they learn is through pain and suffering. But whether there is pain or learning, the law says what? Anything that disturbs the total health of the universe, anything that disturbs the total rhythm, anything that disturbs the total harmony will be eliminated. And who comes and disturbs the rhythm of the totality? You can trace it to a human being. You can always trace it to a human cause. And that human cause, divine comes and eliminates. Because the harmony of the totality is more important than any specific individual. But the ego of the individual makes them to believe that everything has to happen according to the ego of the individual makes them to believe that the harmony means only when things happens according to their likes and dislikes, there will be harmony, isn't it? That's the most foolish way of buying peace and harmony. What is the foolish way of buying peace and harmony in the house? Keep pampering everybody, isn't it? Why? Because immediately there will be a harmony, isn't it? Take the stance. What is the stance? Wherever the harmony is disturbed, wherever the law is violated, what you should do? When the law is violated, your emotion, which is attachment, will come and say, forgive, no? Excuse, no? Your attachment will come and say, forgive, no? Excuse, no? Sashvata Dharma Gopta says what? Sashvata Dharma Gopta will come and say, by paying the price, you will know. By paying the price, are you able to understand the difference? Your emotion will say, sir, why can't we be compassionate? Why can't we be loving? Why can't we be affectionate, loving, caring? That's what we are supposed to do, no? Change the person through love and affection. I tell you, try it out. You will know it will not work. Why? Because the other doesn't even understand that language. Sashvata Dharma Gopta is very clear. Change the person through love and affection and compassion. That's the method, sir. When children does mistake, that's how we should do, no? Try it out. Next time, what the child will do? Has any child changed like that? Try it out. What will happen? Adandan jasti aao, isn't it? Clear? The stubbornness alone goes on increasing. Then what is the Sashvata Dharma? You are the Sashvata Dharma Gopta. You are the Sashvata Dharma Gopta means, how can you be so compassionate and be merciless? the Sashvata Dharma Gupta. புரியுதா? Raj, Sashvata Dharma Gupta means you are so compassionate. Out of that so much of compassion alone, you have the strength to be merciless. That is God. That is the supreme. That's a supreme reality. Sashvata Dharma Gupta. But our love and all it is just an emotional. It's what do you call that? Our compassion doesn't come out of strength. Our compassion is coming out of our weakness. What is our weakness? If the person doesn't come back, what will I do, sir? If the person doesn't come back, what will I do? Good. The person is not supposed to come back. The person didn't come. Where is the problem? Your attachment will not allow you to think like that. Your attachment will glorify all your negativities and give it a flavor of compassion, love, etc. Attachment covers it up. You have to have true compassion to be merciless also. In fact, it is out of true love and compassion alone you can be merciless. Without compassion, if you have no mercy, what is it called? What is it called? Without compassion, you can be merciless to people around. That is called indifference. You can be absolutely indifferent and just be merciless. Supposing you become compassionate, what will happen immediately? The moment you become compassionate, what happens? You ensure that you destroy yourself and you destroy the other also. That's what happens in the name of compassion. Are you able to follow? The moment you become compassionate. What is the right compassion? That is Ashvata Dharma Gupta. You can be loving, you can be compassionate, and yet you have the capacity to be merciless. Why? Because the harmony, the law, restoring the health back is important. But you cannot do that. Why you cannot do that? Because in your emotion, you are so carried away by your emotion that where is the concern of overall health? Where is the concern of overall growth? Emotion makes you to worry about the next moment of emotion makes you to worry about the instant joy. The emotion makes you to worry about the instant moment. Do something for the instant moment. Compassion understands the compassion understands the total harmony and thinks what has to be done for the total harmony, even though it may appear very merciless. Are you able to follow? This is Sashvata Dharma Gupta. You are that Sashvata Dharma Gupta, meaning you are able to have that inner strength. Sanatana. Sanatana means ever present. Ever present means what? Sanatana means ever present. Ever present means, imagine Sanatana. Imagine there are two ways. One way is, imagine there is, what is that camera? CCTV. Imagine there is a CCTV watching you all the time. You are caught. All the time you are. But privacy, sir. Imagine there is a CCTV above your head all the time. You are constantly being monitored. You are constantly being watched. That is Ashvata Dharma Gupta. You can't escape that. That's all. You can't escape that. And the camera is invisible. Because of the camera being invisible, Vishwarupa Darshana and all is very important. Because suppose if it is a visible camera, What will you do?
Behave.
It is visible camera. What will you do? Cut the power supply to the camera or break the camera. But one thing you will not do. What? Behave. Isn't it? One thing you will not do. Yeah. What will you cut the power supply, break the camera, how to go into the, and you will start, your privacy is getting invaded. Privacy is getting invaded means what? I will do something that will disturb the harmony of everybody. I don't care about whether others are getting disturbed or not. I will do that which suits me only. Shashwata Dharma Gupta says, you think like that, apave punishment will, the thought itself will punish you, word will punish you more, deed will amputate you completely, chakra will come, the camera is there telling you all the time. Responsibility will come. You will start behaving responsibly. Yeah. See, the whole idea is not to create panic. It's not to create fear. The whole idea is to make you behave responsibly. Today, everybody is so irresponsible. Everybody is so irresponsible. Worldly people are irresponsible. Spiritual people are PhD in irresponsibility. Whom to even talk all this? Isavasya says, greater than blinding darkness, greater than blinding darkness, because irresponsibility. Shashwata Dharma Gupta says. Imagine that. At least I used to, even now, I always think there is a camera watching me. The thoughts, the emotions, the thoughts, you behave so responsibly. And that responsibility becomes the protector. The responsibility becomes the protector. And you know that you are so well protected. You know that you are so well taken care of. Shashwata Dharma Gupta. You are the one who's doing this. Glorious adjectives that Arjuna is giving to Krishna. Next verse, Padinga. One second. Yes.
Because you are saying that we have to be both compassionate and yet merciless also, because that's how the situation wants. But what we believe is that either you are compassionate or you are merciless.
Yes.
So we out of wrong understanding, we have kept ourselves a choice that you are either a compassionate person or a merciless person. They cannot get together. But Krishna says you have to go together.
Yes. One of the question that she is asking is Krishna saying compassion and merciless have to go together? Krishna is saying one of the essential ingredients of compassion is when you can be merciless, you can be merciless. Are you able to follow? One of the essential ingredients of compassion is when you have to be merciless, you can be merciless. But compassion, in the way that people misunderstand, will never allow them to become, will never ever allow them to become merciless at all, because they think that is against. How can a loving person do that? How can a person of love do that? Only a person of love can do that. A weakling cannot do that. Again, I repeat. Are you able to follow? Only a person of love can be merciless. A weakling can never be merciless. Shashwata Dharma Gupta means if the situation warrants, you can be merciless. Are you able to follow? Carefully understand. When you are faced with a situations where there is no mercy at all to you, remember Vishwarupa Darshana. Don't take the position of God now and say, I am being merciless. You will be in a situation where mercilessly you will be treated. Are you able to follow now? You will be in a situation where no mercy, no compassion will be shown to you. When no mercy or no compassion is shown to you, those are the moments what you should remember. Those are the moments what you should remember. What you should remember then? You are being protected. You are being protected. That is bhakti. You are being protected. That is bhakti. But you will get so irritated at that source. Are you able to follow? You will get very irritated at that source. Why? Because why you get so irritated? What you are seeking is pampering, and the other has understood pampering is destroying you, therefore refusing to pamper, and that refusal to pamper will be very painful. Are you able to understand? So don't take the stance that you being merciless to somebody. When you are in the position where mercilessly when you are treated, understand it. Understand that you are being protected. Shashvata Dharma Gopta. God is saving you. God is protecting you. Otherwise, the way that we explain, you think that you should be merciless to somebody. Don't take that egoistic stance that you should be merciless to somebody and all that. Because because you yourself is so dependent, where is all this coming? Are you able to follow? So what it actually means is situations where you will be treated differently, mercilessly. It means what? Those are the situations where you understand God is protecting you. In the trying situation is to protect you is bhakti. Understanding that the difficult situation, the trying situation is to purify you, is to make you strong is bhakti. But we see it as a problem that should be conquered. We don't see it as an opportunity to grow. We see it as something that has to be conquered, something that has to be eliminated. By eliminating that, you are eliminating the opportunity to grow itself. You are eliminating. And God, Shashvata Dharmagupta says, how much ever you eliminate, I'll keep coming back. Thank God, God doesn't get angry at us. God doesn't get disappointed at us. Thank God he doesn't get angry, he doesn't get disappointed. That's why they can keep coming, that's why he can keep coming back to us again and again and again. That's what he says, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. Again and again. Yuge and Yuge means not once in 500 million years. Yuge Yuge means every experience is like a yuga to you. Isn't it? Every painful experience is like yuga to you. Time doesn't move at all. Yuga means long period of time. Isn't it? Yuga means long period of time. What is the yuga that we all experience? The pain and misery is the yuga. Because it just time doesn't move at all, isn't it? Time simply doesn't move. Isn't it? Bhakti comes and says what? In this lies your protection. You are because the law is protecting you, you are experiencing this. Instead of seeing it as a curse, instead of blaming and crying and worrying and cursing, what do? You prostrate. Are you able to understand the difference? You prostrate. That's how it has to be understood. Otherwise, you'll always think, why am I being treated like this? Why only me? Why only me? Why only me? This why only me will never leave the human being, isn't it? Why only me? Why it will never leave? Shashvata Dharma Gopta. That Shashvata can be an adjective to God, and Shashvata can be an adjective to law also. Eternal God, eternal Dharma. So, Sashvata is an adjective to both. The God is eternal, or understand it like that. You are the eternal God that protects the eternal Dharma. Because eternal alone can protect the eternal. Dharma means health. Dharma means harmony. Wherever there is harmony, you understand there is Dharma. Wherever there is lack of harmony, you understand it as adharma. Again, I repeat. Wherever there is harmony, there is Dharma. Wherever there is no harmony, there is adharma. வீட்டில் ஹார்மனி இல்லை சார், அதர்மா. ஒர்க் பிளேஸ்ல ஹார்மனியே இல்லை சார், ராஜ், அதர்மா. ஷேர் மார்க்கெட்டு, புல் மார்க்கெட்டு, பேர் மார்க்கெட்டு, isn't it? புல் அண்ட் பேரா ஷேர் மார்க்கெட்ல அதானே? ரெண்டுமே உதைக்க தான் போது எப்படி இருந்தாலும், isn't it? I don't know why they call it bull and bear. Where there is harmony, there is Shanti. There is Ananda. Where there is harmony, there is Shanti, there is Ananda. Ananda means bliss. That's why all these great men have added the name Ananda to their title. Because they are in harmony all the time. Because they are in harmony all the time, they are in bliss all the time. Symbolically, they keep adding the title Ananda to their name. Ananda, 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 they keep adding. It's symbolic. You may add the name, you may not add the name. But this is very important. What is it? The law has to be understood. Ignorant person understand law is an interference. Wise one understands law is there for protection. Again, I repeat. Ignorant one understands law is that which is stifling. Ignorant one understands law stifling. Wise one understands liberation is because of the law. That is why the human being tries to violate the law. Why they try to violate the law? They try to violate the law because they believe law is that which stifles, law is that which takes the freedom away. They believe that. In fact, freedom is what? Freedom means responsibly behaving and obeying the law is freedom. Breaking the law is ignorance. And what is the price of ignorance? Gada and chakra. Gada and chakra is the price of violating. But human being says, but the human mind believes law means that which stifles. Law means that which is constricting. Law means that which is restricting. Do's and don'ts should not be there. To whom do's and don'ts should not be there? To whom? To you and me? To you and me, there are very clear, definite do's and don'ts. Take it or leave it. Doesn't make any difference. To you and me, there are very clear set of do's and don'ts. The law. You have a choice of obeying the law with understanding, or you have a choice of obeying the law even if you don't understand. Even if you don't understand and you obey the law, you are still protected by the law. And if you understand and obey the law, that is moksha. That itself is liberation. You're able to follow. Otherwise, the human being always thinks law is that which takes the freedom away. Law means what? Do's and don'ts, isn't it? What does the do? You give do's and don'ts to the children, and the children think they are being, oh, they are not giving my freedom. If freedom is given to you, what will you do? Third day, you will come back utterly destroyed. If freedom is given to you, third day, you will come back completely destroyed. Why? Because freedom is a responsibility. Freedom is a tremendous responsibility. And the responsibility comes only when you have learned what the law is and what is obeying it, what is the violation, and what is the consequences of that violation. Then that person will be given the freedom of what? Through choice, you obey the law. அங்க கூட லால எந்த எஸ்கேப் கிடையாது. ராம் சுப்ரமணியம் புரியுதா? இன்னும் ரெண்டே மெத்தட் தான் இருக்குது. Either you obey the law suffocating misunderstanding, either you obey the law without understanding, or you obey the law with understanding. But nevertheless, one choice you don't have. What? You cannot violate the law. You can violate the law. You can still choose to violate the law. It's not human free will. You can still choose to violate the law, and every violation will be dealt with. Every violation will be dealt with what? Gada and chakra. Every violation will be dealt with Gada and chakra. Sashvata dharma gopta. Sashvata dharma gopta. Dharma means a law. First we said dharma means harmony. Now we are saying dharma means a law. Take a simple example. When you go on the road, do you see the traffic policeman as a hindrance or as a benefactor? அவ்வளவுதான். இவ்வளோ ஸ்டோரிஸ்லாம் வேணவே வேணும். Isn't it? Again, கொளத்தூர் புரியுதா? ரோட்ல டிராபிக் போலீஸ்காரர் நிற்கிறாரு. ஆஃபீஸுக்கு 10 நிமிஷம் லேட் ஆல்ரெடி. Is he a hindrance or is he your protector? We always see that person as a hindrance, isn't it? We always see the traffic policeman as a hindrance. Why? Why he appears to be a hindrance? If he puts his hand and say, stop sign காமிச்சார்னா என்ன ஸ்பீட்ல வந்தாலும், how much ever in a hurry you are, how much ever you are going to miss that appointment, how much ever you are going to miss the business, how much ever you are going to miss everything, our stop என்ன பண்ணும்? Stop. Where is the problem? Are you able to follow? Simple. Understand it like that. It becomes very easy. Would you see the traffic policeman as a hindrance, or you would be thankful to him? Bhakti is being thankful to the traffic policeman. Because thank God he is there. 10 நிமிஷமாவது லேட்டா போக முடியுது. ராம் சுப்ரமணியம் அவர் இல்லைன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? வீட்டு காம்பவுண்ட் விட்டே வெளில வர முடியாது. Grid lock, isn't it? For everybody wants to have their pound of flesh. Everybody wants to have their pound of flesh. So when everybody is trying to have their pound of flesh, everybody ends up eating everybody else, isn't it? What is everybody wanting to have their pound of flesh? You bite somebody and somebody bites. Somebody bites you. Gosh, the way you thank God you don't have the vision to see all this. You are very happy. If you see it, when somebody is biting somewhere, you bite somebody, somebody bites you, and what a chaotic life this is. And then the human comes and asks, how to be happy and peaceful, sir? Stop biting. That's all. Yeah, simply stop biting. Pound of flesh it is. Scary it is. So scary. Would you see him as a benefactor and say thankful to him, or would you see him as a hindrance to your journey? Most of the time we see the traffic policeman as a hindrance to the journey. And thank God, because of him being there, only your journey is possible. Shashwata Dharma Goptana traffic policeman Nanchukunga. Because everybody has to go, no, isn't it? Signal, everybody has to go, isn't it? Your ego says, first I will go, then I will allow others to go. First let me go. முதல்ல நான் போயிடுறேன் சார், அப்புறம் எல்லாரும் வரட்டும், isn't it? The utter chaos in the airport. Everybody wanting their pound of fish. What that fellow can do? That fellow himself is so helpless. Okay. You simply sit in one corner, chant Vishnu Sahasranama 20 minutes, calm down, and then go, your job gets done. Isn't it? You go there and stand and scream and shout and everything. Nothing is happening because you are biting somebody and somebody is bitten by somebody. It's everybody's biting. Dharma comes and says what? Dharma is a law. Dharma means law. Dharma means harmony. Dharma means harmony. Dharma means law. Harmony by everybody obeying the law. That's why we say in jungle there is harmony. In civilized society there is no harmony. Again I repeat. We say in jungle there is harmony. In human civilized society there is
jungle.
There is disharmony. What is the difference? There the law is obeyed. Here constantly think about how to violate the, and why, what makes you to violate the law? What is the cause? What is it that drives you to violate the law? Sense weakness. Sense weakness. Weakness of the senses makes you to violate the law. Having said you violate the law, you need to understand what is it that makes you to violate the law. Weaknesses has to be corrected. Weaknesses should not be shown compassion and forgiven. Weaknesses has to be, we understand weaknesses, but the person also has to get out of that weakness. So violation of the law happens because of what? Weakness. Sthita prajna. Kurmonganiva sarvashaha. What a brilliant definition he gives. In chapter 2, when we talk about Sthita prajna, what is the definition of the Sthita prajna? One who's got the senses under control. Everybody wants to have the mind under control straight away. Senses allam odudu ella directionally, isn't it? No control of the senses. Senses ke control illa, isn't it? And everybody is wanting to control the mind straight away. Sthita prajna says, mind alana gutrupa, I follow sense control, he says. Sthita prajna comes and says, you follow mind control, I follow sense control. Kurmonganiva sarvashava. So what is it that makes you to violate the law? The weaknesses. What are the weaknesses? The fundamental weaknesses, the sense weaknesses. That's why when the child says, give me freedom, what is the child asking? When you say, give me freedom, it wants freedom for sensual indulgences. As a parent, you say, no, you cannot be, that freedom cannot be given. Correct? With reference to a child, you can understand. But when you do that, you cannot understand. That's ignorance. When you do that, you cannot understand and follow the same law to yourself. When you give freedom to the children, everybody wants to give freedom to their children? Which parent wants to suffocate and torture the children? Is there any parent that wants to suffocate and torture the children? No parent will want to do that. And yet all children think parents are suffocating and torturing, isn't it? Why? At least I thought about my father like that. Not so much my mother, but about my father, I thought like that. Why is he torturing me like this? I used to tell him also, maybe you found me on the roadside bin, I used to tell him. Why torture like this? Suffocate and torture like this. So when the human mind is asking for freedom, what is the freedom that the human mind is asking for, which cannot be given? Again, I repeat, when the human mind is asking for freedom, what is it that is understanding it as freedom that the Sashvata Dharma Gopta says it cannot be given? What is it? Indulgences. Indulgences, and I will do indulgences and selfishness. Freedom means indulgence, selfishness, self-centeredness. And Sashvata Dharma Gopta says that will not be given to you at all for your own welfare. For your own welfare, it will not be given to you. Why? Because you will, according to you, freedom means what? According to you, freedom means what? I will decide what I want to do. Correct? Freedom means what? I will decide what I want to do. On what basis you will decide? Are you able to follow? Everybody says, I want freedom, sir. Freedom means I will decide what I want to do. It's my life. I will decide what I want to do. Good. It's your life. You decide what you want to do. But don't come back also, no? Isn't it? But then you will come back, no? And when you come back, undoing that is far more complicated than what people don't understand is this. Undoing it takes, in fact, most of the time, these rishis and sages and saints, the problem that they have with us is what? They can never do anything constructive with us. All that we do, their entire effort is going in undoing itself. And they'll be waiting for one person in their lifetime who where they can just come in as a clay that can be molded rather than undoing and undoing and undoing. So what is undoing? Freedom. You think freedom means what? I will decide. I will decide what I want to do. Correct? On what basis you decide? On what basis you decide? What is the basis? Whatever you think as right, whatever you believe is right, and what you think as right, what you believe as right and all is not at all right. Why? Because you never, for you to think, you need an I do what I think as right, sir. Correct? For you to think what you need, intellect. This pink color, sir. Black in color, isn't it? It is black in color. And you are saying this pink color is so good. You say, what do you mean pink? It is black in color. You don't have eyes at all to see, isn't it? You don't have eyes at all to see, but you are very sure about the color. So first thing what you should do, isn't it? I think I will do. Abdina, first thing that you need to do is to have an intellect, a vision. Are you able to follow? Sashvata Dharma Gopta. For the rest of the Janma, I can go on this Dharma Gopta only, but I'm stopping this for today. Next week, I will move on to the next. This Ashvata Dharma Gopta, the entire Vedantic knowledge is about this. The entire Vedantic knowledge, the entire way of living life. That's why we say Vedanta is the law of life and living. The Vedanta means the law of life and living. You have the freedom to do. But then if you have the freedom to do, freedom to suffer also. If you say, I have the freedom to do, then what you should accept along with that freedom? The suffering that comes with it also you should accept. You can't come and say, I will do what I want to do, but remove the suffering alone. Are you able to follow? It is like that Annapakshi. It is like the mystical bird, isn't it? There is this mystical bird they talk about, this Annapakshi. What is that bird does? மில்க் கொடுத்தா வாட்டரை தள்ளி வச்சுட்டு மில்க் மட்டும் குடிக்குமா? You know, it can't be segregated like that at all. You know that at least? At least that much you can understand. No, it can't be segregated. Milk is watery. How can that be segregated? Yeah. But it has that capacity. What it means is not literally. What it means is you have this capacity in you. What is that inner ability in you? If you say, I will do what I want to do, you have to accept the suffering that comes with it and suffer quietly. You can't come and say, I will do what I want to do, but remove only my suffering. இப்போ God கிட்ட எதுக்கு போறோம்? If we go to God, what do we go to God for? Oh God, remove my suffering part. Like the Annapakshi segregates. Milk and water segregate in me. What? Remove my suffering part. So that I'll go and do.
What I want.
So that I'll go and do another round of suffering I will create and come back to you. Another round of suffering I will create and come back to you. Punaha api, punaha api. Punaha api means punarapi jananam. Again and again and again the human being keeps doing it. What is the opposite of it? Obey the law. And obey the law means you cannot know what the law is. You have to necessarily obey what somebody tells you as the law. Sashvata dharma go. With this, we conclude verse number 18. We'll continue from verse number 19 onwards next.